We're here to pull cards for September the 8th. I am going to be pulling one card for overall energy. After that, we'll look at the energies coming through for each individual sign and see how we're interacting with that general energy that applies to everybody. So if you know your sun sign, you can get a little bit of information from a quick read like this. If you know your ascendant and your houses, you can actually get quite a bit of information about the day from a quick read like this. So let's just jump in, shall we? Overall energy is showing up as the Ace of Arrows. I can't remember if we got this yesterday. I know we've had this recently. Ace of Arrows is right side up this time, though. Last time it was in reverse, so we were waiting on information. This is talking about that we are communicating with somebody and the information that we're getting back. This is two-way communication, and the information that we're getting back is information that opens our eyes to something that maybe we weren't aware of before, or maybe we were aware, but we weren't really paying attention or noticing before. So this is communication that is bringing us important information. So we like this. Let's see what area that applies to for each of us, starting with, of course, Aries. And by the way, I am doing readings today, either at home or, well, either at home, either online or over the phone. Of course, I'll be at home. That means you can get a reading from the comfort of your own home if you would like. Let's see, Aries, Knight of Vessels showing up for you. This is interesting. So this is some communication that is going on that has to do with somebody that you really care about, somebody that, you may do things to care for or to uplift or to encourage. This can be a romantic partner, but it doesn't have to be. This could be a family member or even somebody who's a close friend. It can be really anybody that we care for. I know a lot of you guys like to put this straight up into the romantic relationship box right away. It doesn't have to be there. Let's be more open to the idea that there's more going on in our lives than just romantic relationships. I know that's hard for some people, but life is not that narrow. We have a full smorgasbord of life happening every day. All right, let's look at Taurus. Taurus, 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 Taurus. What do we have? Hmm. Ten of Stones, home. So this is communication coming in, some kind of new understanding coming in about our home or someplace that we consider home base. So usually this is very literally about the home. Sometimes it is about the place that we spend the most time, whether that be an office or a workplace, whether that be a school, whatever it is, someplace where we spend a whole lot of time. And it feels like home to us. It feels like home base. I used to have, he's not alive anymore, but I used to have an uncle that worked for H&R Block, which, if you're not from the US, that's a big tax figuring agency or accounting agency, probably, but they specialize in taxes. And whenever tax season came from like January 1st through April 15th, he would spend so much time there that he actually literally got a cot. Like people joke about getting a cot when you spend a lot of time at work. He literally got a cot and set it up in the back of the building where the customers couldn't see it. And he would sleep there and many nights because he would work so late and then he would get up so early and start doing more tax returns even before clients started walking in the door. So that would have been, especially during home season, that would have been a great example of somebody's home base that's not home, but it kind of becomes home, at least temporarily. So this card for Tauruses is talking about home or home base, where we're getting some, we're having some communication, which is bringing in some eye-opening information. All right. Now let's look at Gemini. Gemini. Nine of Stones showing up in reverse. What do we have here, Geminis? Boop ba da doo do, do, do. Hmm. Geminis, I think that there is a lot of communication going back and forth between you and somebody else. And I think that the eye-opening thing that you're seeing here is just exactly how stressed out this person is and how they're not feeling very grounded. For some of you, this person is going to be letting you know, whether they're telling you directly or whether you're understanding it from how their communication is coming through. They're going to be really letting you know that they're not, and this is not for all of you, but for some of you, this person that you're talking to is not grounded enough to really be sure that what they're saying is going to be the same story tomorrow or the next day. And I think you're realizing that. For those of you that it applies to, like I said, that's not for all the Geminis. I do think for, well, it's a general reading, so maybe not all the Geminis, but for most of the Geminis watching this, you're going to be communicating with somebody and you're going to be getting a very clear picture of exactly how stressed out they are. Seems to me like they're feeling very pushed. Now, you could be feeling this way too, but that's not what this reading is about. Okay. So, this is important to note that whether you're feeling this way or not, somebody else is. Okay. So, if you also are, you're not the only one in this boat. And it's important to know that. Okay. And if you're not feeling this, then great. But you're going to find out real quick somebody is. Next up, we're looking at Cancer. Cancers. All right, what do we have here? Cancers. Seven of Stones. This is communication going back and forth about payday. You're getting some eye-opening information about payday, some kind of payday, Cancers. What are we doing? What day is the 8th? Let me look. That's what happens when you do these ahead of time. You lose track of what day is when. That's Friday. Okay. All right. Well, interesting that payday would show up on a Friday. Because that's kind of normal. But this isn't about payday exactly, but it is about communication about payday, where you're getting some eye-opening information. Now, I don't have this payday card in reverse, so that doesn't really tell me that things aren't what they should be, but you may be finding out that what should be might be different than you're expecting. Let's put it that way. And that may be coming through communication. Could be good news, might not be. But I don't have that leaning to where I'm going. For most of you, this is not good news. I feel like this is kind of neutral. It's going to play out good for some of you and not so good for others. Okay. Next up, we're looking at Leo. Leo, Leo. What is your eye-opening communication about Leos? Seven of Bows in reverse. This is my clearance card in this deck, but it's showing up in reverse. So this is the idea that, there may be something that you're wanting to clear out, give away, get rid of. You may be looking to get rid of some old baggage, more on the emotional side of things. And with this communication, what's going on is you're finding out, you may be finding out what it's going to take to get rid of or clear out. And maybe what you're finding out is it's going to take a little bit of a different amount of effort than you were expecting. Okay. Doesn't have to be bad. It's not necessarily good. It could go either way. But to me, I mean, it really just feels neutral. It just feels like information you need to have or you need to know. All right. Now let's look at who's up next. That was Leo. Next, we're looking at Virgo. Virgo, Virgo. Virgo, Virgo. Five of Vessels in reverse. What do we have here, Virgo? Okay, so Virgos, I think you've had a situation. Um, by the time you have this communication going on, I think you will have had a situation where there was something going on that wasn't sitting with you right. But for a long time, you were kind of, just pasting on a smile and pretending everything was okay. And then there came a point where that was not the mode of operation anymore. And you stood up and you said, something has to change here because this is not right. It's not sitting right. I don't like it. Something's going to have to change here. So you stood up for changing whatever this situation is that didn't feel right to you. Okay? Now, what we see is this communication about you standing up for this change. And so as you're communicating about the idea that you stood up for this after so long of not standing up for this is where the clarity is coming in as you're having that conversation. And this clarity is going to be around, why was it what was the tipping point that made me go from pretending everything's okay and pasting on that smile to that's enough. Something has to change. And I think talking this through is what actually brings you that extra clarity and kind of a aha moment around what your tipping point was. All right, so that's Virgo. That's deep Virgo. Got some growth going on. All right, next up, we're looking at Libra. Okay, Libras. Five of Stones. Endurance. Boop-a-doo-doo, but it's in reverse. So Libras, what I'm hearing is that uh, you're very impatient. You're sort of chomping at the bit about something that's going on with this communication. So I think that what's going on is you're hearing something in this communication. It's eye-opening for you, and it really motivates you to quit waiting on somebody else to sign on, to quit procrastinating, to whatever has been keeping you from moving forward. Now you're chomping at the bit to let go of that obstacle and to actually move forward because of something that came up in this communication, some kind of eye-opening information that really motivated you to move with some alacrity here. Next, we're looking at Scorpio. Scorpio. What do we have? Two of vessels showing up in reverse. Scorpios. Boop ba da doo 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 doo. Two of vessels in reverse. Hmm. Okay, well, we're having an eye-opening conversation around this idea of somebody or something that we were really interested in, fascinated by, drawn to. We used to want to spend time, either doing this thing or talking to this person all the time. And now we could kind of take it or leave it. In fact, we'd probably rather leave it than take it. So there's some communication going on about this today. And there's some kind of eye-opening information that is showing up here around the situation for us. That's really interesting. I would love to hear some Scorpio feedback on that one. I'm a Scorpio and I can't even imagine what that's going to be yet. All right, let's look at Sagittarius. Sagittarius. World tree coming up here. Okay, some kind of eye-opening communication coming up for you, Sagittarius, about some kind of target or goal that you're trying to reach. This is usually like the end of a cycle. So this could be like, we want to graduate, or we want to complete orientation at work, or we want to finish writing this book, or whatever it is that is a goal of ours that we have been working on accomplishing. This talks about bringing that to the ideal conclusion. So it's the end of a phase of our lives, or the end of some kind of cycle that we've been working through, and it allows us to free up some time to move into the next thing that's important to us. And so we have some communication going on around that, and this is eye-opening communication today, Sagittarius. All right, next up, we're looking at Capricorn. See what comes up for you guys. Capricorn. Capricorn, Capricorn. Okay, so Capricorns, we have our page of arrows showing up in reverse. What do we have? Oh, this is interesting. Eye-opening communication coming up about some kind of what I call a secret of the universe. My definition of secret of the universe is anything that influences our world or our universe that we are not taught about in fourth grade. So things like law of attraction, law of assumption, anything really metaphysical, paranormal, occult, arcane, things like what I do for a living, shamanism, Reiki, and other energetic healing modalities. All of that stuff kind of falls under this umbrella. So this tells me that you're having some kind of eye-opening communication with somebody about something that's under that umbrella today, the secrets of the universe. All right, next up, let's look at Aquarius. Aquarius. Let's see what we have. Aquarius. Okay, I didn't show you your card yet, did I? I like this card actually. You guys have the Three of Vessels showing up here. Three of Vessels is my friendship card. It's enjoying time with friends. So there may be some eye-opening communication about the idea of enjoying some time with some friends. This may be, communication about scheduling some time, or this may be communication about, I know we had time scheduled, but, could be something like that as well. But some type of communication around spending some time with some friends is happening, and it is eye-opening. Eye-opening. All right, let's look next at Pisces. Pisces. Aquarius, I'm going to go back to you for a minute. I feel like some of you don't even realize that somebody considers you a friend. That's why it's eye-opening when they're like, hey, let's go have some coffee, or let's go to the ball game, or whatever it is. All right, Pisces, 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 Pisces. Two of arrows showing up in reverse. Now, this is interesting, Pisces. You're going to be unraveling the problems of the world, or at least the problems in your world with somebody else with this communication going back and forth. You have some type of decision that you're not really sure what side of the fence you want to come down on whenever we see these two cards play out. And I think that you're communicating with somebody else about, the pros and the cons, the what ifs of this decision, and that ends up being an eye-opening experience. It may very well be that after you have this communication with the other person, that now you have your solution. You know what you want to decide and which way you're going to go forward. So that's really nice. All right, guys. Well, that's what we have today. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. Of course, remember I'm doing readings, Reiki sessions later on. To reach out to me to schedule one of those, all you have to do is get my contact information off of my website. And We'll get you taken care of. Quick, quick, quick. And on top of that, let's see. The other way that I could really use you guys' support is with those thumbs ups on these videos, sharing them out to the world. If you think they may benefit somebody else, of course, please share them. And then also put your feedback down below. Let me know what some of these things are all about. It's always interesting to hear just exactly how different cards play out. So thank you guys really for all of your support. Everyone have a fantastic day. Peace out.